Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
G'day, Coxie.
Good morning, Warwick.
Oh, fastest drawer in the West.
This is my first time recording with you since I started recording on my own a little bit, and it's a bit weird.
You've been off, I don't want to say cheating on me because that would imply that we're in a different sort of a relationship to just a podcasting and business relationship. Well, it's not just.
I think a lot of people think we're in some kind of relationship.
It's pretty monumental to be podcasting and businessing and coaching and stuff together.
It's huge.
And you have been doing a bit of moonlighting.
A bit
Nicole.
of moonlighting. That's probably a better way than cheating on you. But yes, I have been moonlighting, and I must admit I've been a very lazy podcaster until now, I think, because I know that I can always count on you to have the introduction ready, and you generally beat me to the punch, and you're good to go. And now I can't just sit back and relax and rely on you to do any of that. I have to do it all myself.
It's a bit different working on one's own compared to being in a partnership with someone.
It is different. I'm enjoying it, and I think I'm struggling just a tiny bit with some of those newer elements for me within the podcast. It's pretty rare I jump in first, or I do the intro or preface the episode. It's a bit strange, but I'm enjoying it just the same.
Well, we'll see if any of your habits change, Coxie, coming back over here to the main focus, the first child.
Schlepping it back.
And for your benefit, listeners, if you haven't seen on socials, you need to keep an eye out and an ear out for a new project that Nick is spearheading, another podcast, as we've alluded to.
Thanks to a very big shove and a kick up the backside from Warwick. Perhaps I got my own pineapple back after all this time.
Get in there. Go on, get in there and do it. You can do it, Nicole. Yes, we are going to be very soon releasing the first episodes for a fantastic new podcast called Ladies in Business.
I feel like we need some fanfare, some trumpets, or maybe a drum roll. There you go. I can't believe you just pulled that out like that. See, that's what my podcast is missing. There's no sound effects.
There's no ridiculous sound effects made with one's own mouth.
No, and there's no accents. There's no nothing.
No, and it's a different podcast, Coxie. I think that's the part of the point is, as the name implies, it's about ladies in business, and obviously Coxie is the host, just the only host, the star of the show. I think the guests are probably going to be the star of the show, to be honest.
They most definitely are. I won't be doing them solo, let's put it that way.
And it'll be, I won't say all women. I imagine there may be a dude guest on the show at some point, someday. And for now, it's a lady fest.
Yeah, it's a bit, I don't know. It's filling one of those voids that was very much there when I first started in construction. And that is, you can't do what you haven't seen. And I had no idea there were other amazing women out there doing phenomenal things in trade businesses. So it's elevating that language, I suppose, and talking about how we can step into our own within the business rather than just helping. One of the very first episodes is very much about that connotation of just helping, which so many women sort of step up to just help out in the business, and actually stepping into the ownership of that business with their partner. So it's a fascinating opportunity, I guess, to encourage that within women in construction, but business women in general. We've had quite a variety of guests for the first, how many have we done? 6 or 7 episodes? And there's been some very diverse, interesting people. I'm looking forward to letting it rip.
Coming to a podcasting streaming platform app near you soon. It'll be on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Not that anybody uses that. And And do we have a website for it, Coxie?
No, we're just going to put it onto the Tradies in Business website. Let's not confuse everybody.
Right, okay. So you'll also be able to find it on the Tradies in Business website. But if you're a dude listening to this, let wifey know or your boss, because maybe you're a dude working for the lady boss. But let the ladies in your life know about Ladies in Business. Have we set a launch date yet, Nicole?
Yeah, the first, which I think is tomorrow.
Crikey, I better edit all those episodes for you
Bit
then.
of work for you this afternoon, Mark. Sorry.
So after tomorrow, you should be able to find it on all the platforms, assuming the tech cooperates with us. And get the ladies to have a listen. It's Coxie interviewing a bunch of awesome women in business, inspirational, some amazing stories, some who've had some great insights or have some great insights, regardless of how they've arrived at where they are. And I think it's going to be a fantastic show that will, as you say, Coxie, fill a bit of a void out there in podcast land. And I can't wait to have a listen as I edit the episodes.
I'm terrified. I'm like, are these going to be good enough? Am I going to get some nice feedback? Here comes the shit sandwich.
All
That's
right,
not what
so
we're talking about today, though, really, is it?
no, so that's just a quick update, some exciting news for you. What we do want to talk about today is Christmas.
Given that today is the last day of November, you're breaking them all out this morning. Look at you go.
1st of December tomorrow. Tree goes up, although I think most people put their trees up in September this year, wishing for Christmas to hurry up.
Yes.
And it can, as we have been talking about a fair bit here at Tradies in Business, it can be quite a stressful time. It's a bit manic, actually, with deadlines and everything, and made even more challenging this year with materials shortages and the lockdowns that we all had, or many of you had, through mid-year, have made for some incredible delays. And it's just all coming to a big, ugly head at the end of the year, possibly. And I think that's the point. It doesn't have to be as catastrophic as it probably appears to be, that big black cloud coming over the horizon. We are going to, and we're even running a webinar about this topic tonight. So if you haven't seen that and haven't registered, check your emails. If you're on our email list, you would have been peppered with emails, because we really want to help you get through this period differently to previous years. And there's a registration form on the website, which I really should know the address of, and I don't. So
I don't either. I was trying to find it yesterday and realised I don't know what it
I'll
was.
tell you what we'll do. We'll pop the link to that in the show notes, in the description for this episode. So you can pop on and register for that right up until 5 p.m. Sydney time this afternoon as this episode goes to air. If you're listening to this after, sorry.
No, drop us a DM and we'll organise to get you out a recording.
You can watch the recording. And, Coxie, there's a bunch of things that people can do. What's just one? We want to keep it simple for you, listeners.
I think
I'm just going to give you one thing you can do.
One thing, we actually spoke to our tradiepreneurs about this yesterday and last week, Platinum members last week and all members this week, and it was about setting the intention. I think that we forget that our clients are just as busy and as stressed as we are in their own way. Of course, it's not the same as us. I understand being in construction is super, super tough. And those of us who have clients, their clients bring their own set of trouble and drama and stress and unrealistic expectations. So it's our job, in the interest of ownership and being the business owner, to address those and give them some clear direction on what Christmas is going to look like for them. So we're setting you a challenge this week, and that is to immediately email everybody on your client list, whether they're past, present, they never turned into a client, doesn't matter who they are. If you have an email address for them, we want you to email them and just outline what will be happening for you in your business over Christmas. So many of our trades will continue to work in an emergency basis. Perhaps there'll be a set shutdown period and some terms around emergency work. That's what your clients need to know. And then there are many other tradies who don't work through emergencies over Christmas and they just take 2 or 3 weeks off. Fantastic. That's great work that you've set that up for yourself. Now we need to set up the freedom for you to enjoy that time off by allowing your clients the opportunity to have their expectations set on, okay, I know that Tom Jones Builder is actually away for the next 3 weeks, but he did say I could send him an email and that would be addressed when he got back. So I'm going to send it now while it's top of mind for me, knowing that I won't hear a response for 3 weeks. Fantastic. So it's just a great opportunity as a business owner to reach out to your client base. It actually works as a bit of marketing as well, to remind them that you're there and let them know right now before they get too critically busy what Christmas will look like. Now, they may not remember completely that Christmas is going to look like this for you, but what they will remember is they did see an email from you in their inbox and they're going to go back and rifle through and search for it and find it and think, that's right, he's not doing emergency call-outs over Christmas. Or, yes, he is, I need to ring this number and leave a message. It's quick, it's easy, it's marketing. It's also good client service that sets you up for the break that you deserve over the Christmas period.
Boom.
That's
Done.
it. Thanks for
Just
listening.
do the one thing.
And it's mind-blowing how such a simple task doesn't enter many of our thought processes because we're all so busy ourselves. And I think if we really keep in mind that our clients are also busy and stressed, if we hit this email up with them in the week of Christmas, they're just not going to remember that you even sent it. But if we preface it now, have that conversation now, we allow the space for them to at least come back to it when they need it, if they need it, rather than totally forgetting and putting unrealistic demands on you. We've spoken about this before. I remember sharing with you how we found a possum on the side of the road at 5 a.m. in the morning in the middle of winter, and we didn't know what to do or where to go. And I couldn't get any information from anywhere. Even the RSPCA couldn't give me the information about what to do next, and it just increased my frustration. And even though I'm generally okay with taking ownership, I did not on this day. Got very blaming, got very cranky with somebody on the end of the phone when I finally got through to someone because this poor thing had been screaming in my house for hours. And all I wanted to know was what to do next. Now, if that meant that I knew that I had to look after it until 8 o'clock and then the vet would be open, or if there was somewhere in town that I could take it immediately, didn't matter. I just needed to understand what would happen next. And I think that your clients are much the same, particularly around an emergency. If they don't understand what will happen next, that it'll take 24 hours for you to get back to them about their broken down air conditioning, or that your sink that's currently you can't turn the water off to, they'll actually get back to you in an hour. They're relaxed, I suppose. Maybe not relaxed, might be too serious a word, but they're more understanding when you do eventually get back to them. And how does that work best for you? It means you're not the one catching the barrage at the end of the phone when you do eventually pick up or get back to them, as outlined in your procedure.
I think I forgot that this is tradies in business, not ladies in business, and I'm just sitting here quietly while you run the show, Nick.
Well, usually you're sitting up to the mic ready to give another comment and I can lean back and it's your turn, but it's not happening today.
I was thinking about the possum screaming in your house, actually. I was visualising that one. It is so simple to communicate, though, and we don't do it a lot because we make assumptions. We assume that people know or should know or would know, or I don't know, whatever happens in our brains, that we don't communicate these things explicitly to others. I guess really it just comes back to those assumptions, listeners. We make assumptions all over the place in our life. So don't assume that people know or will figure it out or will use common sense, because we all know that common sense died a long time ago with fairness and some of those other things. Government accountability, what? And make sure you tell people what they need to know or what you wish they knew over the Christmas period. So thanks, Coxie. Some cracking tips in there. Remember also, listeners, we have our best year yet challenge. So last week's episode, we gave you all the details for that. If you haven't heard about it, go back and have a listen to that one. The link is in there to participate as well, to get the information on that. But basically, you can score some free time with us if you want.
Bit of problem solving for the new year.
We could help you even better than we do already on the podcast. Imagine that. Imagine getting me and Coxie in your face, well, virtually, for free, just by bearing all and doing 10 simple things. So go back and have a listen to last week's episode. All the details are there. And make sure you click the link in today's episode notes and jump on the web session with us tonight if you're listening to this on Tuesday, the 30th of November, just before we put up the tree. And come and join us. We'll run through some more things that'll help you actually make Christmas a cracker instead of a crock. Should have made that the title.
Christmas bonbon jokes?
Mine are worse than Christmas bonbon jokes.
I like bonbon jokes. I do also like the paper hats because there's nothing better than a sticky paper hat on your forehead on Christmas Day.
Yes, much more comfortable than a tinfoil hat. Anyway, listeners, great to have you with us on this last day of November. Looking forward to a smashing December for all of you. And we'll be back in your ear holes again next week.
Thanks for listening.
Hooroo.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.